Oh, man, I was just thinking to myself, right, that there's some movies I really have not seen in a very, very long time. And one of those movies that I have not seen in a very long time is Shrek 2. Um, Hello, this is Jacob Erie of the Occupy Hollywood Network. Obviously, you could tell I don't really have like a niche like intro. I just kind of just yap until like the yapping is over. But I really think there are very, very few movies or movie franchises, whether that be 10 movies, a trilogy, a quad, or just a remake, a sequel, that are on par with the initial success of the one project. For example, usually when there's a trilogy, or usually when there's a sequel to a movie, it's either not as good as that movie, or they're not all equal, or it's better than the first one. Um, I think an example of a trilogy, I could say that like they're all really, just as good as the other ones is like something like Rush Hour or The Mummy. Um, and if there was just the two installments, two movies that are just really good with each other, is like Shanghai Noon or like Shanghai Nights. I think that is a really good example. Also, I think what's another one? I mean, there's plenty, but regardless. And so I think Shrek 2. If you guys haven't seen Shrek 2, I mean, I'm assuming you've seen Shrek 1. I mean, if you haven't seen Shrek 1, you probably haven't seen Shrek 2. It'd be kind of odd if you did. But Shrek 2 is one of those movies where there is no other way or no other way you could have gone about that movie any better than you did. And it really, I've heard people say that Shrek 2 is better than Shrek 1, which is not an unreasonable assessment, but I do think these two movies are like on par with each other. Um, Shrek 2, well, one of the things that the Shrek franchise has really going for itself is two things. One, there's a lot of great characters that aren't the main character who really know how to steal the show. Um, I bet a lot of people who like the Shrek franchise have like that fan favorite of theirs, or like the one character that they like more than Shrek. So for me, I think Fiona. I just like Fiona a lot because she's a pretty lady, right? Oh, that's what I would say was when he's younger. But I think Fiona is a really well-rounded character. From all the different things that she's had to go through and stuff. Being in the castle. Her relationship with her family, and then having someone that she can relate to who she never thought would relate with her, or that he never thought he would relate with her. But both of them turn out to be ogres. Spoiler alert. And one of the things that Shrek also has going for itself is the music, because it's like a musical almost. It's like a almost like a unconventional one, because sometimes like there'll be like musical numbers, but sometimes there'll be just like music that's iconic being played on in the background. But I do think no, Shrek is definitely a musical, but I think that the second Shrek does just as good as the first one. Can I say it's better? I don't really want to say it's better, But if someone does say that, I won't dispute it. And I kind of feel like Shrek really is one of the, because it came from the DreamWorks studio. So if it's coming from the DreamWorks studio and all that DreamWorks has made, because DreamWorks has made Ice Age and they've made, you know, I think they've made Despicable Me? No. Is that them? I don't know. I can't recall. But I think that Shrek is probably DreamWorks' best work yet. Now, some people might dispute that, but they definitely can't say it's not up there. But I think overwhelmingly people would say DreamWorks is, or Shrek is DreamWorks' best thing to ever come from them. Now, when you're getting into like, you know, the third or the fourth, honestly, it's debatable. But I think the Shrek franchise is kind of just like a really enriched franchise. Really knows what it wants to be. You hear that a lot when like people are criticizing like, you know, different mediums and different projects of like TV, video games, especially movies. Um, and I think Shrek Two has, because it has a lot of the previous characters besides the ones that passed away in it. But when it adds these characters, um, they stand on what's the term that all the kids say? They stand on business with like the other ones, right? The original ones, and so I think that's really cool. I think the songs in this movie are really one of my favorite movies ever is Hairspray, only because well, I really like musicals. I know people hate musicals because they hate like the just they hate singing and all this stuff, but I think singing's fun. I think Hairspray has a lot of really catchy tunes in it, but I think Shrek 2 also is in that same realm. And so I try to tell myself, you know, could you like, because like I do think I have like some talent and skill in myself, but like I always tell myself, you know, could you realistically make a movie like Shrek 2? And I'm gonna be honest, you know, I don't think I could, because like, you know, what are animated movies that are just like I don't think I could make them as good as the people who made them. You know, Iron Giant, Kiki's Delivery Service, Shrek, Mulan, Hercules. These are like just like the head honchos, in my opinion, of their like um, respective fields. And so, Shrek Two. Is there anything that I don't like about this movie? I mean, the fairy godmother is a bitch, but that's it. I don't really like her character, but like obviously she's a bad character, so like clearly, like that's why. But like nothing against like the actress or like you know the actual um, voice acting because it's phenomenal. Um, I'm trying to think. I think the thing I don't really have anything bad to say about this movie, but the thing I really I find neat about this movie is seeing Shrek as a human. I'm like, dude, that's pretty cool. And I'm like, and when I see Shrek as a human, the first thing that comes to my mind, I'm like, it's like, I wonder if there's anybody that looks exactly like that, and not only looks exactly like that, but also sounds exactly like that. You know, which would be crazy. Um, uh, I know it's like not a big deal, but it's not even like a criticism towards this actual movie, but like maybe just the Shrek franchise in general. I just don't really care about the whole donkey and his dragon wife storyline. I think it's just weird to be honest. But like, I mean, it's not like it doesn't take away from anything. I'm just like, it's like a shoulder shrug to me. I could do without those parts. Maybe like substitute more of like I don't know, because like Shrek, I'd like to see like more Shrek childhood moments, or maybe more Fiona childhood moments, or like their adolescence and their upbringing, in substitute for those, or even like donkeys per se. I can only imagine like what if Donkey was like another female donkey, or like a horse. I don't know. Oh yeah, I also like Donkey when he was like turned into a horse. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I mean, like, what if he was like originally like that in the first place? Uh, I'm trying to think. There was what's the popular songs in this? It's like changes. Did you hear my voice crack? I'm not gonna sing. I'm way too lazy to sing right now. But I think I've always wondered like how many Shrek movies could you realistically make? Because if you think about it, Shrek is almost like at the same realm as like Despicable Me, whereas like you could just make Shrek movies, and I feel like people would just eat them up, like not even like exaggerating that. I think you could just make them, and people would just eat them up. Now, would the quality go down? Sure, probably, but there's just some of those people in the world that just like they just go into movies just for the sake of going to movies. And as much as I like going to movies, it's just I'm not gonna go see something just for the sake of seeing it. Because I noticed that I have a lot of family members that they like everything. Like it's like there's not one movie. I mean, I think maybe there's like one movie, but like most of my family they just like everything, or they don't really go see movies. Depends on the person. And so I think a lot of the time with this stuff, it's really interesting to see people like the different types of people in like all things and like how they interact with like theaters and franchises and different stuff. Shrek, I think, my friend just went to England, UK or whatever. England, right? London, England. Uh, she said there's like a Shrek like theme park over there. What's it called? I forgot what it's called. It's called like Shrek. I want to look it up. Hold on. Shrek Land London. What's it called? Shrek's Adventure in London. Apparently, it's like a theme park, but I don't think it's like Disneyland Disneyland level theme park. I don't even think it's like Six Flags level, but it's kind of just like this obscure thing that's there, and I'm like, that's kind of interesting. And then I think, wow, this is really, really. I wonder, could you like think about it? Like, you could build like a whole theme park based off like Star Wars or something, maybe even Lord of the Rings. Or maybe not, but like, could you do that with like Shrek? Ah, that'd be so cool. Maybe that should be like a future goal, like to try that out. And but Shrek 2, I think it's a really good movie. It's I gave the first Shrek. Um, what did I give it? I gave it a. What did I give it? I gave it 10 out of 10. Is Shrek 2 10 out of 10? I think it is. I think it is 10 out of 10.